everyone, it's StariAri, and I'm here to discuss the Arcturians and my experience with them. Okay, if you're not familiar with the Arcturians, they are pretty much a species of galactics that are non-physical and they are very high frequency and pretty much higher dimensional. They don't exist in the physical realms as well as they don't exist in lower dimensions. Okay. Um, so they look alien, as you can see. To me, I never knew about them until probably 2012 when I had my first stream with them in it. Okay, never heard about them, never knew about them until then. I had to do research on them as soon as I had that dream because it was very vivid and I was very confused. so, there's stories about the Arcturians. There's the most famous channeler that channeled Arcturians a long, long time. I'm talking about 1940s. It's Edgar Casey. Okay, he actually talks in length about the Arcturians and how they are one of the most advanced galactic races in this galaxy, the Milky Way. So, where are they from? They are from the biggest and brightest star within the constellation of Boots. So, Edward Casey channeled this information and he claimed that all of the other galactics that he channeled before them had legends regarding the Arcturians, where they claim that they were pretty much like these very high advanced, technologically advanced beings that emanated light. So, that being said, it's kind of like I guess similar to our legends of the unicorns, right? So no one's ever seen them. No one's ever, seen them physical and stuff like that. So yeah, obviously thought they were legends. They were not real or whatnot. So anyway, as soon as he came out with this information, a lot of people were trying to contact them. A lot of people were trying to connect with them. All this beautiful stuff going on and whatnot. So, like I said, I was never aware of them until 2012, and then that's when they paid me a visit in dream space. So let me tell you how they looked to me in dream space. I was having a dream about at this point in my life, I was actually transitioning or moving from the United States to South Korea because I was in the military. So I was getting a lot of anxiety about it, and I was kind of like, well, I don't really want to do this forever, meaning like I was already getting the cold feet, like, oh my god, I don't want to move from country to country to country like every time, right? So it's kind of like they showed me my future in the stream in particular. So what it was is that I was streaming that I was in a classroom setting. I remember seeing other people around me, but I remember being singled out. Like 3 Arcturians in particular came up to me. And again, I didn't know that they were Arcturians at this time. I just thought they were aliens. And I was kind of like, what's going on? So they came to me and they told me that they needed to teach me some stuff about myself and how I could do healing work. So then I was like, okay, I've been told so many times that I'm a healer. I've been told by this point in time that I could do energy healing, I could do miraculous healing, I could do all kinds of things, right? And so by other psychics, okay, mind you. So then when they came and they told me again, hey, you know how to do certain things, let us show you what you know how to do so you can remember. I was kind of like, are you sure? Like, doubting, of course, and like what all of us always doubt. So they were showing me, like right in front of me was like a energy field, like somebody's energy field, like a body. And then they were like kind of like making me zoom in all the way into like cellular structures and then DNA strands and then molecular to subatomical particles. And they were telling me, you know how to do all of this. You know how to get to that point, to restructure it, to enhance it, to do whatever you need to do to assist in the healing process. So I was like, okay, that's cool, but I don't think I can do that. So then they taught me this was in dream space, and they showed me some things that I was doing already on myself. And like, cause I was already meditating, I was already clearing my energy fields and stuff like that on my own, like just through a thought process, not physically doing it like how I usually do it now. And it was, I didn't know, but it was already working, because I always felt better every time I would clear my energy fields and chakras. Like I intended for that to happen. I intended to remove energy from my body, from my bodies, and all this stuff. So they were showing me techniques that I can use for other people. And I was like, that's cool, but I don't think that's gonna happen because I'm still in the military and they're not gonna like that I'm kind of going crazy. So they're just like, they would just smile politely and just keep going with the lesson. And so I was like, okay, this is kind of weird. Again, you guys got to remember that when I dream, I am myself. Like, I am really aware in every dream who I am right now. And so I get that type of mentality where I'm just like, this is just Ari here. She ain't no wizard. She ain't no witch. She ain't no crazy healer, no miracle worker. And so that's how I am in dream space, well, at least back then. And so I was able to, in dream space, I'm able to have so much control over my environment. But then when these beings come in, I don't have that much control, meaning I can't stop them from teaching me things, or talking to me. I could only talk, like I could only say this silly stuff, and they just smile at me and just like keep going with the lesson, like if I didn't interrupt them. So anyway, that happened then. And so I woke up and I was just like, what the hell is this? I had no idea what it was about. I had no idea who they were. I just knew that they were aliens. And mind you, this is the third species that I had contact with. The first one was the Greys when I was a little girl, because I could actually see them lurking around. The second type were the Pleiadians when I was a little bit older. And this was the third type. And so this was kind of like, okay, who are they? I don't know who they are, So I had to research them. I Googled, because Google is your friend. I Googled green aliens with shiny lights coming out of the forehead. Yes, I was very specific. So then I saw these things about Edgar Casey being a channeler for them, and I was like, oh my god, that's who they are. And so there was like all these articles of like people drawing them, sketches, and CGI looking things, stuff like that. And I was just like, oh. And I found one and I'm like, that's them. And then there was 3 of them, just like in my dream. And I was like, there's no freaking way that I knew this beforehand. There's some crazy stuff going on. So then I I just began to have a dialogue with them, calling them in when I meditated, asking them questions as to what their purpose was and why me, and stuff like that. And they were very explicit in telling me that they always assist healers. Whenever you have an idea, whenever you start tapping into your healing abilities and using them, that's because an Arcturian is pretty much coaching you through it as well. It's not only your ancestors, it's them too, and other guides, of course, other healer guides or whatnot. So it was kind of sort of like when they came into my life, it was just a few years until I started doing healing work on other people. And so it's kind of sort of like a preparation time frame, where I was just transitioning, because I left the military in 2014. So I was trying to transition into getting this stuff ready, like mentally speaking, being able to help people with healing work and all that stuff. So Um, After my encounters with the Arcturians and after they told me what their mission is, which again, it is pretty much the same as every other galactic, is to assist us in our ascension process. But the way that they assist us right now is through helping us heal ourselves, helping us tap into our self-healing gifts. And then if you are a healer or you are feeling like you are being pulled to be a healer, they will assist you in tapping into or remembering your healing gifts and what techniques you used. So that is what they're all about. So let me just describe them a little bit, because again, they look different to everybody. In my dream, they look exactly like this. Um, they were green though. They were green energy. And they had this third eye that just radiated light. And it just radiated everywhere. And I was just like, what? So that's how they looked in my dream. And then when the first time that I ever saw them, like besides dreamland, like actually clairvoyantly in my room, was back in like 2015 when they made an appearance before something kind of like life-changing was gonna happen to me. And so they made an appearance. It was like a shitload of them. It was like 6 of them, I believe. And at that time I had a best friend who was very talented herself, and I explained to her my visit, and she was like, "Oh my God, that's awesome. That means that you are being pushed and prompted to do your healing work on other people." And I was still not confident about that. So I was just like, "Nah, I'm just gonna do it on people that I know." Like myself and my fiance and my kid and my cat. So I didn't want to do it. I didn't feel comfortable yet, So I was just thinking that I had to learn more. And, that's how we usually get ourselves trapped in a cycle, because you feel like you need to know more. Anyway, that's the first time I saw them, like actually like clairvoyantly in my space. And then they looked like green energy. I usually work with the archangels, so I'm able to see them as energy too. And one of the archangels, who usually turns out as green energy, is Archangel Raphael. So initially when I saw them, I was just like, and I'm like rubbing my eyes, and I'm like, okay, they're still here. And I'm like, Archangel Raphael. And then he shows up and he's like, that's not me. And I'm like, oh, the Arcturians. And he's like, yeah. So I just asked them what they needed me to do, and they just said that they needed to help me out with removing some blockages, and so I let them. So anyway, they look like that to a lot of people. Some people see them as a hybrid energy, that they look more human, but they have elongated heads, and or they have like a different tint to their skin, like bluish tint, or maybe a pale like white transparent colored energy as well. So again, it really does depend on the level of mastery, I would say, and what they're here to teach you. So I usually work with the ones that are 6-dimensional and higher. Again, it depends on who comes in when you call them in, okay? And of course, verifying it has to happen. And so the best way to verify would be with a pendulum. And then another way to understand who they are is by actually seeing their radiating third eye and seeing the luminous energy around their auric field as well. Another way that you can tell that it's them is by feeling. Usually when I make contact with them, especially when the initial contact happened in the physical, when I saw them clairvoyantly, my crown expanded, my heart expanded, and I felt like I was being lifted to a higher vibration. I felt really relaxed, really at peace, really heart centered, to the point that I started kind of getting teary eyed. And that usually happens when I make contact with a very beautiful energy, very high frequency, very high dimensional being, like an angelic or even an ascended master like Sananda, who is or who was Jesus of Nazareth. That is such a beautiful feeling of just oneness and understanding and connection through the heart center, like deep connection in the heart, deep love, you know? And so that is how I know it's them. Also, another physical indicator would be ringing in the ear, high pitch ringing. Either ear, doesn't matter. And usually happens to me. And so anyway, another physical might be neurological as well, or actually nervous system at like type of trigger would be you get like you feel like your entire cells are or your entire nervous system is vibrating, like it's just slightly shaking. You look at your hands and you're not shaking, but everything is like your entire body is vibrating. And that's how you know you're like, whew, you're at a high frequency. So anyway, those are the Arcturians. Again, their mission is to assist us with our ascension process through helping us remember our healing gifts, helping us with healing techniques, and even giving us healing themselves, you know. So how to contact them. So I would do it through meditation. I would call in the Arcturian High Council of Light to come in during your meditation. If there's any healing they need to be doing, then let them do it. If there's any information about your healing gifts, let them give them to you. Just be open to it. And if it doesn't happen right away, just keep calling them in daily, okay? Until something breaks through. Because again, we are kind of programmed to not believe in certain things. And then if you're afraid of galactics, then that's another program that needs to be removed and healed, right? So take your time, ask, and you shall be seeing them pretty soon. I highly recommend them. They are such a beautiful frequency. Anyway, that is all I have to say about the Arcturians. Thank you guys again for watching. And next week, I'm going to have another galactic energy being and story and when I met them and all that good stuff and how they look like, okay? So I am not going to reveal who it is. Those who are in my academy, which is the Law of One Academy on Facebook, know who it is. So if you haven't joined my academy on Facebook, I highly suggest that you do so you could be in the loop or you could get the information beforehand. It's only $11 for the first month and then $22 after. So monthly, okay? It's just only that. That's like a great deal, you guys. I do weekly training where I teach you how to connect to these guides through meditation, through and then we do an activation. They give you gifts. They activate your cells. They activate your DNA. You know, even they give you a gift of a code for your crystals so you can use it for your healing and all this stuff. So it's just random because I'm channeling this information as I go. And so, yeah. And then of course I teach Toltec shamanism and I teach other awesome things like esoteric wisdom. So if you're interested, I highly recommend that you do join. You can join through my website. It's www.StariAri333.com. If you like to learn privately, you could actually purchase a mentorship with me. I have it at a discount right now until February 14th. It is half price. Okay, so it's already discounted in the price. It is for 2 hours, a 2-hour mentorship where I use any tools necessary to assist you based on what your higher self wants you to learn. We could use tarot cards, we could use oracle cards, we could use healing energy, we could use regression therapy, like kind of like your past life regression, even cards to tell you about your past lives, things like that. So we'll use whatever needs to be used for your highest and best, for your training as it's individual, okay? Individualized. Sorry about that. So that is $50 for 2 hours, and that's a great price because the original price is $111 for 2 hours, and that's still a good price too. But anyway, that is also on my website, www.stariari333.com. Okay, so thank you guys again for watching, and hopefully you guys enjoy this little bit of information about the Arcturians, and I hope to hear from you guys in the comments below if you guys have been working with them, or if you had experience with them, if they're similar, or maybe you can try out connecting with them this week, and just comment below about your experience. Okay, love you guys, have a good weekend, bye bye.